What is going on, everybody? Punkers here with another video. You already know I'm back, and can we just get a huge shout out to my how to get a girlfriend video for being the first one on my channel to get 100 views? 100? Are you kidding me? 100? There's no way. I barely even believe it to this day. I have to thank you guys so much. Just a few months ago, I did my 3 viewer special. If you guys remember that, you gotta go check that video out. That one's a classic. Not that the quality is a classic. The quality is not ideal, but it's a video, guys. It's a video. If you want to watch it, you can go watch it. I'll put it up there. It's a good one, guys. And now we're at 100 views. I know. Isn't that insane? That's so crazy. That's a 97 difference. Ooh, gosh, I don't even know that many people that know that many people. I couldn't even tell you. I don't think I've even seen 97 people in my entire life, but that's a large number that I can barely count to. So I'm not gonna try to. One, two, three. Fuck. Four. 31. 40. And not to mention my YouTube shorts that I made, my Ponker Score videos, they got 500 views. 500? I can't count to 100, let alone 500. Ooh, I don't even know how many that is. I don't even know how to like comprehend that in my head. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Um, so yeah, honestly, thank you guys so much for watching my content, supporting the dream, supporting the journey. Love to see it. Love to see people actually looking at me while I'm talking into a camera. I can't believe it's entertaining enough for 100 people to look at. So, that's something, I guess. Things are looking good for the channel. I've got some great videos coming up for you. I am finally kind of figuring out where I want to take this channel in this direction where I'm just kind of talking in the background. Because I've heard from a lot of people that that's what they do with my content. They just put it on the background, which is totally fine. That's great. That's great. Of course, I'll have the gameplay of whatever. I think we're playing Dire Eyes Black Ops 2 Zombies right now. But for anybody that's actually watching, but for majority of people, it's just like a something to listen to in the background, which is awesome. That's honestly awesome. Meaning you guys watch it for me and not the game. Which I had it totally the other way around. I was like, ain't no way anybody's gonna watch this shit to look at me. They want to watch a game, man. And if they want to watch a game, why would they even come to me? I'm the last person they'd come to, man. Oh man, I know I'm rambling and I'm going kind of insane. So I'm gonna stop talking about my 500 views flex, and we're gonna get on with the video. But first, before we get into the story time, um, fit check real quick. Take a look, take a peek. See, we got ball shirt. This is a shirt I got in Japan. You know how like American shirts with Japanese text, like you have no idea what they actually mean, and it's probably something really stupid, and Japanese people will laugh at you. It's the same thing in Japan. They think English letters are so cool, but they have no idea what they mean. And there's just some really funny shit in there. But I got this shirt from Japan. I don't remember how much it was. I got this cool little chain thing off Timu. Timu. Probably like 30 cents if I had to guess. And then we got this zip up hoodie from somewhere. I just found it. I think it's one of my friends, but whoever's it was in the past, fuck you, buddy. It's mine now. Um, I'm loving this. It's dripped out for sure. And then we got these cargo pants that have like this flannel inside that is so comfortable. It is one of my favorite pants ever. I got it from a certain individual. And then I got this cool chain here that I also got from, where did I get this chain from? I don't know, dude. Home Depot. Fuck it. And then I got some fucking Halloween socks on. I think it's Nightmare Before Christmas. Jack Skellington. Beat the socks. My balance is fucked. But yep, crazy fit today. I'm really loving it. And now let's get on with the story. So this story takes a lot. Oh, all right. This story takes place long time ago in the great lands, the great distant lands of Grand Rapids, just yesterday from recording. And I myself was working a lovely mobility shift. You guys should know what a mobility shift is by now. I think I've mentioned it more times than I have hairs on my head, or soon to be. If you don't know what a mobility shift is, I'll put the video there again. But I get a call. It's like in all right, to put it blatantly, it's a Uber with advanced capabilities. I can take people in wheelchairs. That's it basically. So, um, I got a call to pick up somebody from a nursing home and bring them to their doctor's appointment. Very average call. It's like one of the most basic calls you get as a mobility driver. Very common, right? And so usually get to this nursing home, whether it be a good one or a bad one. I'm definitely gonna make a few videos on some bad nursing homes because there's a lot, and it is a serious problem that I feel very deeply about. But I get to this nursing home. This is a good one, and I'm waiting in this room for them to wheel. It's a lady. It's an old lady. I'm waiting for them to wheel this old lady out, and I'm expecting some like average little like frail old woman, some lovely little grandma that's probably gonna feed me cookies laced with fentanyl. And but I'm waiting here in this room, and I do a little glance, and around the corner comes not but a frail old sweet woman, but a tank hidden in plain sight. This thing, you know what I mean? This thing was oh, okay, a little not a slim figure to say, right? Not a slim figure. But the thing is that I've taken big people before. That's not that crazy to me, right? I just see her come around the corner. I'm like, oh brother, because it was already slippery outside because the snow, slush. It's oh man, that does not make carrying weight very easy. But I sit here and I see this woman coming around the corner. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Roll up my sleeves, pop a powder of spinach, Popeye, that shit. We're ready to go, man. And I look at her wheelchair, and this is where I'm really concerned because her wheelchair is like long and wide and big and tall, and all the big words. It's all of them. It's all of them. And I'm looking at this chair because I have to take her in this lift thing that's on my van, and I'm like, is this gonna fit in my thing. We might as well try, right? And so I'm talking to these nurses. I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna fit, but we can try. We could try. And so I try and walk her out this door because where I pick people up at this nursing home, there's like a automatic sliding door, right? You know the ones, right? And I go to Wheeler. The wheelchair doesn't fit through the sliding door. This wheelchair in this woman is too big for the door. For the door. Not exaggerating. Receptionist had to open the fire like, you know how those automatic doors, they have, like, push to open for fire emergencies? They had to push it open to open it, like, the fire route, the fire escape door. They had to push it open so we could wheel her through the entrance, just that. And just from doing that, I'm like, "Oh, brother, this is not gonna fucking fit. There's no way in hell." But I stupidly, I keep going because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, please just for some random reason, please just work." And second I get her outside, she's just, like, complaining about the cold, and I'll give her it was, like, 20 degrees outside, it wasn't warm, but it was getting to a point where it's like, "Lady, I know you're cold. I am not Mr. Iceman." What's the fucking guy's name? Look, lady, I'm not Mr. White Christmas. I can't fucking whoosh and like take the snow away, or I'm not Mr. Fireman or whatever God damn, what's his name? I'm not the heat miser either. I can't just whoosh and take all the snow away. All right, I'm a normal human. I'm doing what I can. I'm moving you as fast as I can. So just understand I'm doing my best. And she's just like, so cold. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And like, oh fuck, hello camera. So cold, right? Like I'm gonna freeze to death. And I'm like, lady, it's gonna be okay. I'm getting you up. We're gonna get you in the van. I'm gonna turn the heat on. And yeah, of course the fucking wheelchair doesn't fit. And the because my ramp, it has to like I lower this ramp, right? And there's like two like panels on the sides of where the wheelchair goes. and one of them like goes down. So you put the person through one side, and this is going to be very hard for me to try and explain, guys. I'm sorry, but there's two panels on each side of the lift, and they have to both be up and not be like pressed against too hard, or else the lift won't move. It won't go up because it thinks that like, oh, the wheelchair is going to spill out on one side. The person's going to fall. So it's like a safety mechanism for the ramp. And her wheelchair was too wide and it was pressing on both of those panels, so it wasn't letting me lift the ramp up. And so I was like, "Oh, brother, okay. So I I have to take her back inside." And she's like, "Please just bring me inside. Please bring me inside." And I'm like, "All right, yep, yep, we're going, we're going, we're going." And I barely get her back through. We had to open the fire doors again. I'm like, "Yeah, guys, it did not work." So the nurses are like, "Oh no, like we got to get her to this appointment, so something's got to work." And I tell them, I have a wheelchair in my van we could use, and they're like, this is a pretty big wheelchair. Is it that big?" I'm like, "No, it's definitely not." And they're like, "Okay, well, I don't know if she's gonna fit, but." We don't have any other options right now, so we have to try it. And so I go grab my wheelchair from my van, and so I bring it in, the Life EMS wheelchair, and they get her on it. They do. They have to use this like lift thing to lift her up, and they get her on the wheelchair, believe it or not. I was amazed. And she gets in the wheelchair and she's kind of spilling over the sides. She's barely, barely on this thing safely. And me and the nurses we're all just like, it if it works, it works. We're gonna go for it. And so I wheel her out in my wheelchair, and it works, but she's complaining. Okay, so she can't move her legs very well. One of them she can't move at all. And so if her legs not on like the wheelchair pedal thing for their legs to rest, then it'll just drag on the floor. And every time that it dragged on the floor, she thought her foot was like breaking in every single bone. And I was like, "Lady, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put your foot back up on the pedal, but your foot is not broken. I can assure you." She genuinely thought that her foot was like broken. Like she told me multiple times that I think my foot just broke. I think you broke my foot. And I'm like, Ma'am, you're okay. See, your foot's on the ground. It's okay. Still in one piece. All right? For now. So then I get her in the ramp and it works. It barely works. Her feet, I have to fucking cram her feet in and she's yelping and crying. And I'm trying my best to be as like calm and nice about this as possible. I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm trying my best. I'm moving as fast as I can. I know you're cold. I can't warm you up and, shoot fire at you. Again, I'm not the heat miser, but I'm trying my best, all right? I'm moving you in the ramp. I'm moving you in the van. We're gonna get the heat turned on." So then I finally get her in this van, and she's just like a snap, like a switch. She's just like, "Oh, yay, I'm so happy now." Like, "Oh, how's your day? Like, how you doing?" And she's like all talkative and stuff. And I'm like, okay, all right." And so I'm just talking and, it's like, okay, whatever. I'm all right with her being a nice, sweet lady. That's great. Let's have more of that, please. And then about halfway through our drive, she's like, "Man, I'm really hungry. I didn't eat much today." And she asked me, "Could we stop at Culvers?" And I get asked this more often than you think, to like stop at a restaurant or stop at a gas station for someone to grab cigarettes or what drug, what have you, whatever they wanna pick up, man. And, I can't stop anywhere legally. I am legally obligated to not stop anywhere unless I am told by my dispatch, or I get direct orders from a doctor and they tell my dispatch. So, like, my dispatch has to be in the loop of if I stop somewhere, and I'm not gonna text them and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop at Culver's for this patient." No, we don't do that. No. The only time we ever really do stop, if we ever take a stop, is if we're, like, grabbing, like, meds from, like, a pharmacy or something. Like, she gets prescribed something from her doctor and they're already ready at the pharmacy. That would be, like, the only scenario where we would stop somewhere. But I tell her, I'm like, "No, I can't stop and get you Culvers. I wish I could, but, whatever." And then she's like, "Oh, man, like, I really want Culvers." And she, like, keeps bringing it up. And I'm like, the only way I'd be able to is if you convince your doctor to get you a prescription or my dispatch. You got to convince one of them. And I said that as a joke because, like, you're not going to get your doctor to prescribe you for two fucking hamburgers. And she's like, "Oh, I'll give that a try." And I thought she was just joking. She's just like, "Oh, haha, like, yeah, sure. Like, go ask your doctor if you could get a prescription for fucking Culvers. Yeah, go. Let's see that happen." And I was just like, "Yo, that's funny. All right, whatever." And we get there, and the second I open the door, she's just like shivering and shaking and just keeps whining about the cold, and I can't do anything about it. So I just move fast, get her out. She says that her foot broke in 300 different locations. I don't think there's that many places a bone can break in your body, but I don't know, dude. I'm no doctor. Okay, we're taking you to the doctor. He can tell you if your foot's broken. All right. We get her in the doctor's office, and we have to go up this elevator. Thank God the fucking chair fit in the elevator. We get to the doctor's office, open the door, bring her in, and she's checked in. And because she's sitting in my chair and not somebody else's chair, I have to stay at the appointment and wait for it to be done. So I'm just sitting in this waiting room with this lady, and he gets called in, and I asked the nurse, like, "Hey, do you want me to, like, wheel her in for you?" Because she's kind of big person. The nurse wasn't a very big person, so I was just offering, and she was like, "Yeah, okay, that'd be sweet." And so I I push her into this like room, and the first thing that she says to this nurse before anything is, "Man, can we have something to eat? We're really hungry." And she included me in that. She said "we," and I'm like, "Whoa, lady, whoa, whoa! Don't make me seem like a big bag just because you a big bag, all right? I'm not. I already told her I'm not that hungry right now. We talked about food. I said I already ate before I got on my shift, and I'm not that hungry anymore." And she just said, "Hey, could we have something to eat? We're really hungry." And I'm like, "Whoa, hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. That's all you. That's all you." And the nurse was like, "Huh?" And I just, like, look because 'cause I'm wheeling her, she's in front of me, she's facing forward, the nurse is right next to me, I just look at her and I'm like, "It's whatever." And then I think the nurse got the message. I should have said this before, she's diabetic, alright? Keep in mind, she is diabetic, so that means she's gotta watch her sugar level, alright? And she's, like, complaining that her sugar level's getting too low, and I'm like, "Okay, if you're at a nursing home and they know you're diabetic, they know what you're eating and when you're eating all the time. Like, they are on top of that, that is their job. So they know that you're good and you're gonna be okay until you get back." And that alone made me like, "All right, you're not actually dying or whatever." But she just doesn't care about her diabetes apparently. She just eats what she wants, That's a great mindset to have when you have diabetes, to just eat whatever the fuck you want. Because yeah, who cares about blood sugar, The more the merrier, sugar is just energy, you just, burn it off, it doesn't matter, it won't kill you probably. I don't know, there's only one way to find out, right? So then I'm waiting in the doctor's office, and she finally gets out, and I'm like, "All right, are we ready to go? We're good to go." And so I start to wheel her out of the doctor's office, and I open the door to the doctor's office, and we're wheeling out, and we're about to go into the elevator to go back down. And right as I press the elevator button, she's like, "Oh, wait, I forgot to ask if they could give me a prescription for those burgers." And I'm like, "What?" And then it, like, clicked for me, and I'm like, "Oh, haha, that's right, we talked about that." And like, "Oh," and I told her like, "Oh, I don't know if they do that, like, hee hee." And she's like, "No, no, I actually forgot, like, can we go back and ask?" And, like, she's being so dead serious right now, like, dead ass. She actually wants me to go back in there and ask if she could get a prescription for not 1, but 2 Culver's burgers, that's what she said. Like, "Can you ask them if I could get a prescription for 2 Culver's burgers?" Mrs. Diabetes, Mrs. Big Back, the Lord and Cinder of Big Back City, the greatest back of them all, wants me to ask her doctor if she could get a prescription for Culver's burgers. Not 1, but dose. Dose Culver's burgers. How big back can you get? How big back? Like, how large? I genuinely like, what is the scientific quantitative amount of big back you can be? Because this lady had to be, like, the queen of big backs. Asking your doctor as a diabetic if you get a prescription for Culver's burgers is insane. She was being so serious. She made me wheel her back in there, and she asked herself, because 'cause I'm not fucking asking that. And the receptionist just looked at her like, "What? Huh?" And I look at her from behind her. She's in front of me, I'm wheeling her, and I'm like, I'm in total shock. I'm in, like, actual shock. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what's going on right now. I am speechless. I did not think this was possible. I did not think this is some shit you'd see in fucking Family Guy. This is a cartoon episode, man. This is not real. You don't ask your doctor if you can get a prescription for fast food. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? So the receptionist is like, um, I don't know if he can write those. And she's just like at this point, like begging her to get her doctor over here so he can write a prescription for 2 Culver's burgers. And I'm like so ready to just like turn around and leave without saying anything. And I'm just like, ma'am, your doctor cannot do that. You do know, like, he can't actually give you a prescription for that. That was a joke. And she's like so dead serious, like, no, no, like I want to get a prescription. You said that that's the only way you'd bring me to Culver's. So I want to try. I God, I really regret saying that now because we're in this fucking doctor's office. This is the weirdest situation I think I've ever been in my entire life. This has got to be up there with the most awkward and weird and interdimensional fucking shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And the receptionist is just like, "Ma'am, we can't do that." And she's like, "Oh, gosh darn it. My scheme has fallen apart in front of my eyes. Oh, how am I gonna get this Culver's now?" And she's just feeling the utter despair fill her body, and I'm just like, "Thank fucking God." And I just turn out the door. We are out of there, man. I am so done. I don't I'm just like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And the second I bring her outside, it's same thing, like, "Oh, I'm so cold. Oh, you're breaking my foot." She mentions this like it's the most chronic pain that she's ever experienced, and I don't know, maybe it is, maybe she just has absurd foot pain and she thinks her foot's being broken, but literally nothing would be happening to her foot, like, her foot would be in the same position it was, like, 5 minutes ago. She'd just be like, "Oh, my foot. Oh, you're breaking my foot." I'm like, "I'm not even touching you. Whoa! I'm not breaking your foot. Whoa! Insurance fraud. Hey, heyo, heyo. I did not break your goddamn foot. Like, I'm sorry if your foot's hurting. I'm really sorry, but I can't do anything about that. I do not have pain meds. I don't have fentanyl on me. I'm sorry. I already took it all. All right. I'm the one driving the ambulance. And after what just happened in that fucking doctor's office, I definitely need the fentanyl more than you do, buddy." And then I get her in the van and I have the heat blaring. Like, "Why is the heat not on?" I tell her, "It's on full blast. It's on." And she doesn't believe, she's like, thinks I'm lying to her. And I don't know what to tell you. The heat's right here and it says it's on high. She's like, "Oh, I don't feel it." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What the fuck you want me to do? You want me to go back there and start a fire for you? You want me to like stick and let's rub a stick on something, just like start a fire in the back of my van, dude? I don't. What do you want from me? I don't know what you want." I don't get it. Like, she keeps bringing up the Culvers, like, she's actually pissed that the Culver thing didn't work out, and she's, like, genuinely like, this is the same level of upset that I would see from, like, a football fan when their team loses the Super Bowl. Like, this is, like, just utter devastation. This is like this is like somebody who's just witnessed their whole family, like, disown them and, like, move away, and they're just left alone with no house, just, like, totally stranded. She just, "I really want Culver's right now, man. I really want Culver's." Like, and I don't even know what to say. I just, like, barely stop responding to her, and she's like, "Can I buy you Culver's? Can we do that? If I get you Culver's, will you stop?" And now I'm like, "Hold on a minute. Hold on, you're cooking now. Wait a minute. You're gonna buy me Culver's? Hold on. Hold on, hold on, maybe I can make a stop. Maybe. No, no, no." Temptation from the soul of gluttony persuades me, but I persist. I persist yet again. I do not let that turn my vision. I am legally obligated to take her back to this nursing home. I cannot make stops. And so I'm like, man, Culvers would fucking smack right now, but I get in so much trouble. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the free Culvers. She was close. She had me in her grip for a little bit, but not quite. She says that as we're driving back, she mentions, "Oh, my doc." I ask her afterward. I'm like, "Oh, how'd your appointment go?" And to just try and get her off the fucking food thing. I'm trying to just distract her from the Culvers because it like is stuck in her mind. And she's just like, "Oh, I got 2 coupons from my doctor." I'm like, "Oh, really? That's cool. Like, well, what coupons? Like, what are they for?" Culvers, really? Really? Your doctor gave you 2 coupons to Culvers? Yeah, let me see them. Hand them over. Let me see them. And I didn't actually say that because I knew she was just bullshitting, but she's just like trying to get me like she's like trying to like pity she's trying to like guilt trip me. Trying to make me be like, "Oh, but I have these coupons and I really want to use them." You did not get those coupons from your doctor. Doctors' offices do not hand out coupons to Culvers, and if they do, sign me up for a fucking checkup. I want a coupon to Culvers. Are you kidding me? You can do whatever the fuck you want. You want to do prostate exam? Sure. Sure. If I get a coupon to Culvers, I'll do anything, man. You can do brain surgery on me if I get free Culvers afterward. I don't even blame her. That's the reason she's going to the doctor's office. I do not blame her, but she's not getting that fucking Culvers from me. I'm not going to the Culvers. And then when I turn on to like like every other road I turn on to, she's like, "What road is this?" And I tell her the name, and she's like, "Is there a Culvers on this road? Are we going to Culvers?" And I'm like, "No, ma'am. We're going to the nursing home." Like, please, like, well, where's the Culvers? Like, can we go to Culvers? And I have to keep telling her no. I can't take her off. I can't take her mind off the Culvers. It's stuck in her mind. Like some sort of evil like spirit is just taking control of her and it just won't let her go. The Culvers demons have taken her mind. Diabetic old lady mind is just wrapped around this Culvers, man. I finally get her back. After all this time, all the Culvers, after all the Culvers that we didn't get, after all the sadness and anguish that she experienced, after all the broken feet and the freezing to deaths and not fitting through doors and not fitting on my ramp, I finally get her back to the nursing home. I get her back on the ramp, lower it down, get her back in. And she lets out this sigh of relief when we get back in because she's no longer in the cold. And I don't know who's in more relief, me or her. I wheel her in. I'm like, all right, no more cold for today. And we both of us are just like, oh, oh my God, man. Thank It's over. It's over. We're both so happy it's over. And the nurses get her from my chair to her bed, and I take that wheelchair and I book it out of there. I'm so fed up and I am done. I don't want to think about Culvers anymore. I am finally back in my van. I just, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. We made it. We made it. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, America. See your friend like order something at a fast food or you like order something at a drive-through and you just look at them, you give them that look like, "Damn, you're really gonna eat all that?" You know that look? Yeah, that look was amplified tenfold when that lady that in that moment was the biggest, like, side eye, like, head shake, like, "The fuck?" Like, a little another interesting thing from that day. It wasn't just that, but, I mean, that was definitely the most interesting, but my next call was a patient who was even bigger than that lady, like, physically. Like, she didn't act as big. No one can act as big as that lady. Nobody can act as big as the Culver's woman, but this lady was physically larger. This patient was, um, 475 pounds. Have you ever lifted 475 pounds? All my power lifters out there. Have you? I sure haven't. I'm sure as hell haven't, but in our chairs in the van, they can hold up to roughly 400 pounds max. And so the fact that she's that much heavier, I have to call dispatch and be like, I need the mega chair. and the mega chair, the double, triple, quarter pounder deluxe special chair. We call it the bariatric chair, but I like to call it the double, triple, quarter pounder deluxe special because this is like the highest quality chair that you can possibly get. It is the top of the line. I think it's like $2,000 or something for a wheelchair. It's got these metal frames, but this thing is like made of like steel of the gods. This thing was crafted by Zeus himself. To be $2,000 for a wheelchair, that shit must have been touched by like the forgeman of the century. This shit had to be crafted in like the great volcanoes of Mongolia or some shit. This is some like monk's journey that you have to go on to get this material for this chair. This is an insane high industrial chair. This shit's like six-wheel drives, got a V8 in this shit, like metal frames, flame decals. You got the whole package, man. You got the whole shabam. To go back to our like headquarters to grab this chair because we only have three of them because they're $2,000. And I I go to this hospital, and the best part is that this lady, this 470-pound lady, she can walk. You believe that? She can walk. What a trooper, dude. Imagine walking with 475 pounds on you. That's insane. That is actually insane. She's got legs of steel, man. That is some good shit, man. Like, round of applause for that lady. She's a trooper. And she was so nice, and like she was just like a funny person to be around. Like she could joke around with me and stuff. And, like, it was great. It was a great call. I can't even lie. It was like it was a long drive, and she slept the whole way, and then once we got out, I was, like, slipping, trying to push her in the snow because the snow was so slippery, and I have, like, 500 pounds in front. Because also the chair was heavy as shit, by the way. Like, normally, I can lift up the chairs because it's, like, our normal chairs are range anywhere from, like, 55 to 65 pounds, so I can, like, lift that shit easy. But this bariatric chair, it's gotta be, like, 100 pounds. Like, this shit man, this is a good fucking workout just lifting the chair, let alone 475 pounds on top of the chair. And I'm pushing this shit through the snow. And so I'm a little slippy, sloopy, goosey woosey, and she's like laughing and stuff. She's like, oh my, pushing my fat ass. Like, of course you're gonna slip. And she was great. She was great. I love that patient. She's amazing. Good call all around. Nothing else crazy to say about it. It was just that it was just kind of interesting. 475-pound woman that can walk, kind of. She obviously like she needed to be in a wheelchair to like go anywhere far, but she could take a few steps, which impressive, very impressive. Round of applause to that lady. And now you all know what time it is. It is music recommendation of the day. And today it is going to Streetwise by Pretty Sick. This is a local indie band in New York that just kind of within the past 4 or 5 years gained a um, national recognition. Was kind of a local band for a while, but they've got a very like 2000s like punk revival kind of sound, like your rebellious teenager listening to like fucking Hannah Montana and shit, You got those like bulky, like not bulky, like the slim little headphones that are like 20 bucks with like a wire going down to your iPod with your well, like one playlist on it, like that type of shit, the skinny jeans, the ripped skinny jeans, all that stuff, early 2000s punk, it's great. It's a very nostalgic thing for me, obviously. And it's a good sound. I enjoy it. Their newest album is kind of gearing up towards a more intense kind of sound, which I definitely like compared to their older stuff. If you want to check out their whole discography, you definitely can. But my favorite song from them so far, from what I've heard, is definitely Streetwise. It's just a good groove. I do like the vocals. It can be considered a little outlandish, but I really love it. I really love it. It's a good song. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. That's kind of all I had to say. Um, Go check out Streetwise, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and make sure you're living life the way you want to. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.